Where should I look for Zilforium? In the depths. If he's still alive, the gravity of Nocticula's punishment would have dragged him to the very bottom of Lucianiera. Dig through the garbage. Talk to the vagrants and beggars. You surely don't expect me to do it. Do you? Why did you choose me for this mission? Because you are neither a demon nor a resident of Lucianiera. You are a wild card, an insignificant Golarian, and no one is interested in your exploits, and you will not draw any unnecessary attention. You are not bound in service to any demon, and therefore, if you dig up any information, you will bring it to the one who will pay you the most for it. That is to say, me. Considering that there's people out there willing to make deals with abyss rats like you, lady, then yes, we are incredibly stupid. Agreed. You won't run to your master because you don't have one, at least not here in the abyss. If I gave you this task to one of my servants, I could be sure of only one thing, that they would sell the information about my interest to my enemies, and then if they learned anything about the crystals, they would use this information to benefit themselves. Everything is clear for me. Oh, excuse me. Wonderful, because this conversation is beginning to bore me. Does the name Willidus mean anything to you? Yes, Willidus is well known and highly esteemed at Lucianiera. He is Nocticula's advisor and in charge of matters related to magic in Lucianiera. That's why I would be happy to see the cursed dimwit doing some real work for a change. Instead, he's cowering in his palace because his Scarites put a price on his head and hired a group of toughs from the lower city. Why should I have to pick up the slack for that pathetic coward? I have a few questions. With a sigh, Shamir hisses irritably under her breath. Curse Nocticula's hospitality for bringing these strangers from other planes to my city and my harem. I want to know more about Nocticula. Pursing her lips in a smug smile, Shamir answers with a venom in her voice. What exactly are you expecting to hear from me beyond what any other resident of Lucianiera could tell you? Yes, I am closer to Nocticula than anyone else, but do you really think I'll spill her secrets to you? Our Lady in Shadow doesn't like to be discussed behind her back, and the scope of her realm, the entire Midnight Isles, proves that her anger can be extremely dangerous. And she is worshipped on many planes, including Galarian, right? Sort of. At night, she sometimes comes to insane rapists and murders and paints in their minds pictures of immorality and horror, masterpieces of lust and despair. She is the first succubus, the most powerful and most seductive, the murderer of countless demon lords and usurper of their abyssal realms. Over the bodies of her victims, she climbed to unbelievable heights, and now she stands far above her loathsome brothel, Sokothbenos. Have I said that? Was that pronounced properly, guys? Chat? Anyways. And thus she has proved her victories were gained not just by the means of her power, but also by her great intellect and willpower. What kind of harem is this? What do you think? Because I am Shamir, the ardent dream, the chosen lover of the great Nocticula. Every time she grows weary of plots and conspiracies and craves wild passion and warm caresses, she comes here to her harem. Oh. Does the word harem mean a group of individuals always ready to copulate with the master or mistress of the harem? The name should accurately describe the function of the establishment. For instance, residents of a former angel intended for copulation between the above-mentioned angel girl and Lady Nocticula, which also performs the functions of a city hall. Oh, she's a... Oh, I did not realize she was actually an angel. Or is she a succubus? Oh god, I don't remember. I don't know. Anyways, Have you seen? I've seen you with Hepsimira at the flesh markets. Tell me about her. Hepsimira is an honored guest here in Alushiniera. I'm not going to discuss her with every stranger I meet. Your mind, Shamir's voice sounds very nervous and angry. Don't you use your brain at all, Galarian, to ask us such foolish questions. You can't show any open interest in that horned scum. Did I somehow fail to convey that the most important requirement of the task entrusted to you is discretion? Hepsimira is no mere offshoot of Baphomet's line, but a Nephilim, his own daughter. Considering how fertile that old goat is, this might not sound very impressive, but she is the most powerful and capable of all Baphomet's children. To attract her father's attention, she sacrificed her 5 elder brothers, and then, to earn his approval, her own mother. Baphomet generously shared his power and knowledge with her. He even gave her command of his favorite toy, the Templars of Ivory Labyrinth. Moreover, he entrusted her with a secret mission directly linked with Nahindran crystals. After that, the cloven-hoofed Quit became insufferably arrogant. I could barely refrain from ripping her head off. Be extremely careful during your investigation. Hepsimira is strong, cunning, and cautious to the verge of paranoia. If she catches the merest whiff of your interest, she'll immediately eliminate you, and you'd be a better prey to your gods, and not even your shadow points toward my harem and hints at my involvement. How did you achieve such a high standing? You don't know my story? This explains why you're not on your knees before me. I was once a celestial being. Okay, she wasn't. And my fiery wings carried me from the upper planes to insignificant little world like your Galarian. I gifted fantasies and dreams, kindled flames in the wild minds of dreamers, and I loved it. Sometimes these fantasies took shapes too daring and unbridled, or so it seemed to me, but I made no effort to stop it. A dream is a bird, not a horse. You can't restrain it. Oh. Weird. You can't restrain it. You can only hurt it with your reins. The dreams I sowed were becoming more daring, bolder, and with them I changed as well. One day I rejected the limits imposed on me by my masters, and the world I was visiting, a wildfire of dreaming broke out. A dream so daring and bold it could come to fruition only through great atrocities and monstrous immoral deeds. I could have spotted it, but I didn't. I was memorized by this great vision. I didn't return to my world, as I would not be accepted. Instead, I descended into the abyss looking for someone who would truly appreciate me and the dreams that I bestow. Nocticula noticed my flame blazing over the dark waters of the ocean. She came for me and shrouded me in her shadows. That night was very memorable. Since then, I have served her and have been her closest friend and her right hand. Nothing useful, my time is precious, and I care not to waste it. Okay. At a hideout at Lucianaire, the place to look is the 10,000 Lights, the city's pleasure quarter.
Beautiful.
Okay. This was the 10,000 delights, right? Um. Hello? Let's try that again, shall we, chat? Okay, please. Work? Oh, you are kidding me, right?
Beautiful.
Great, now we got to go through that entire conversation again. Okay, there we go.
Let's see what we can do.
Aha, there we go. Okay, no, that was not the 10,000. Do 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 do.
My will is resolute.
Okay. This might take me a while, chat, to figure out. Though I'm not entirely sure what it's going to actually accomplish by finishing it. Wonder if there was an actual faster way to do that. I know the premises of it. And that's to try and get the entire line flattened out. Excuse me. Do 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 do. That's interesting. We'll come back to that later. We'll come back to that later.
Beautiful.
See where this leads me. Oh, just right. Oh. Leads me right there. Aha! There's the portal. I beg you, kind sir, give me a moment of your time. Lotverk. A thin Asmar, good breeding apparent in every line of his aristocratic face, addresses you. Greetings and welcome to this dismal place. My name is Latverk, and I ask for your help. I beg you, show mercy, not toward me, but toward these young and innocent maidens. They are my wards, and they were unfortunate enough to be abducted by demons. Sarenrae herself bestowed a revelation upon me, which prompted me to settle here in aid of my brethren doomed to a dark and cruel fate. But my strength is all but gone. I swear it. I need assistance now more than ever. Rude. Going on down here. Azamar women drift out of the house and standing like silent shadows behind Latver. The faces of many of the women are covered in scars, and their gazes are cold as if numbed by suffering and despair. And just keep holding on, friend. This is a mad place inhabited by mad creatures, but that makes your work all the more important. The disadvantage and need here have no one else to turn to. How may I be of assistance? Freeing enslaved Asbars has become my trade, you see. These women are former captives of whom I have saved from the monster's clutches, and I protect them to the best of my ability. But I have heard a new shipment of slaves is out to arrive in the flesh marks, and there is nothing I can do to break their shackles. Please do it in my stead. Please buy their freedom and send the women here. I can see that you are a traveler of means. A single act of kindness should not inconvenience you excessively, but will be forever in debt to you, to your compassionate soul. Such kind and generous soul is a true rarity in the abyss. We ought to help him. A champion, not just to save poor slave women, but also to strengthen his faith in the righteousness of the path he has chosen. How do these Asmar women end up in the abyss? The abyss hungers for new slaves, so it ends countless raiding parties to their other planes to stave off its cravings. These poor young women are captured on Galarian. I've never seen anything viler than those ruthless thrall hunters prowling in search of defenseless victims. Ugh. Sniffing out the weak to enslave, clamping collars around their necks. Where can I find these captives? As far as I know, the thrall hunters were hired by a slave trader named Bianca, a hideous demon, utterly lacking morals, but I'm sure you'll find him at the flesh markets gleefully counting the coins from selling his cattle. Won't you buy the freedom yourself? Unless I can. Why do they bring the... I simply cannot afford such an expense. Why do they bring the Asmar women to the abyss? It pains me to say this, but I can think of only two options, and both are equally terrible. Perhaps they will be sold to the 10,000 Delights, a filthy whorehouse where corrupt souls indulge in the most immoral and vulgar of pleasures. The other option is even worse. I've heard Shamira, the mistress of Lucianira, is a former celestial from the upper planes who once served the Everlight. This partly explains Shamira's irrational hatred of Asmars. They say she buys my kinfolk and takes them to her harem of ardent dreams where she tortures them without mercy. Then she dines on their flesh. Ugh. I decided the Azamar captains would be safer at my camp. The Azamar appears doubtful. I am infinitely grateful that you freed those unfortunates, but you should have sent them to me. They survived a terrible shock, perhaps even abuse. They need a kinsman's care, someone who can understand them, listen to them, and try to heal the scars left by their ordeal. I fear that eking out a meager existence in an army camp surrounded by gruff armed soldiers will only reopen their wounds. Shut up. The demons examine you. What the hell just happened? Their leader, a misshapen demon whose facial features exhibited not even a passing acquaintance with symmetry, issues a commanding bark. Shut up, everyone, and get down on the ground on your stomachs. Turn out your pockets. Perhaps we'll settle for taking your gold and spare your lives. But you, my sweet morsel, will be leaving with us in pieces. Oh. Behind the chatty demon. Behind the chatty demon, a huge Valakia stares sleepily at his feet. A large cloudy crystal sticks out of his chest. Several smaller crystals have broken through his skin. Oh dear. In several places, like young saplings bursting forth from the earth's embrace, a slimy fringe of thick red saliva hangs from the monster's slack jaw. He gives a surprised snort, then grunts shyly at you. Who's that brute tagging? Who are you? We're the best of the Assassin's Guild. Mess with us and we'll mess you up. Why did you come here? This Azamar misfit has made a certain someone very angry. So angry that put a large bounty on his head, which is why we're going to gut him. Festoon this dismal hovel with the garlands made of his entrails, and then play ball with this stupid. Who's that brute tagging along with you? This? This here's our Gorger. We found him in the sewers below Illusionaire, barely breathing. We were going to cut his throat, but he's so addled, his team enough. And mighty strong. Someone must have scrambled his brains real hard. Now everybody knows how not to screw with us. Or we wake a Gouger up and then they're done for. You're not assassins. You're just common rabble. The demons lose their bravado and exchange nervous glances, taken aback by the steel in your voice. The leader of this band of misfits finally mutters in a shaky voice. Well, maybe not assassins per se, but it sounds more intimidating. Fools shite their pants when they hear it, so we don't even have to shank them. But you, sir, are no fool. That much I can see. Folks, let's not bother the nice gentleman. We'll just turn around and be on our merry way. Well, then, shall we? Who sent you? We don't know her name. Everyone calls her Red Mask because that's what she always wears. We have no idea who or what she is beneath the mask. She sits in bad luck all day, guzzling booze like there's no tomorrow. Who's this Red Mask? And if I know, some kind of woman, definitely not a demon. She's one of yours, an outsider, but she's got an edge to her, and her mask is scary as anything. Get lost. I'm not going to bother killing you. Sorry for troubling you, sir. Won't happen again. I beg you, please protect me. Unless he is stopped, Red Mask will get to me, and even worse, to my wards. I do not fear death, but these girls must not be hurt again. I cannot put an end to Red Mask's depravity, but you can. I appeal to your mercy. Find her and stop her once and for all. Who is this Red Mask? I haven't the slightest idea. No doubt some villain displeased by my attempts to save my kin from slavery. Perhaps a dark soul that revels in crime and suffering it brings. I'll deal with her. You have a generous and courageous heart. I will be praying for your success.
Here we go.
Secret door.
I can handle it.